Hey everybody, I'm back. Summer's been busy, and I've been preparing for my open table West Marches game. We're playing in BX, but one of my players asked if we could use the weapon mastery rule from BECMI, and I thought it was a great opportunity to take a look at it, learn about it, and decide. I've kind of already decided. I took a little bit of a look at it. I'm going to let him use it because I think it'll fit in well with the sort of game that we're going to be playing. But I figured let's take a look at it together. We won't read through the whole thing because it's kind of long, but just to get an idea of what weapon mastery is in BECMI and how I can apply it to BX. So let's take a look. I'm Tristan. This is Heroes and Homebrew. Okay, so the weapon mastery rule is in the Masters part of BECMI. BECMI is Basic, Expert, Companion, Master, Immortals. We're not going to go up to Immortals, but might be able to use some stuff from Masters and definitely stuff from Companion. So even though we're playing Moldve BX, I can use a lot of the stuff from BECMI in that. And Weapon Mastery is a great example of that. So let's take a look at it. It's on page 15 of the Master's book, the player's part of the Master's book, because I think it's 2 books. At least on drive-through it's 2 books. But so weapon mastery. In the current combat system, each character automatically knows how to use all types of available weapons within the restrictions of his or her class. This is pretty standard. Fighters can use all weapons. Magic users can use a dagger, etc. Following weapon mastery system gives player characters the option to study one weapon intensively or a few weapons in depth, giving an advantage over others who have not studied these weapons. The optional weapon mastery system may be applied easily to all characters who start at first level, which is good because all characters will be starting at first level. Even if you die and you create a new character and everyone else is like level 6, starting at first level in this campaign. So, skills and limits. If weapon mastery is added to your game, the following rules must be used. For guidelines on adding the system to an ongoing campaign, see retroactive applications. Well, we're going to use it right at the beginning. So, limited weaponry. When a human character is started, the player is limited. So, it looks like this is only for humans, but I think you probably would be able to use it for dwarves too, because dwarves are technically fighters. So, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. Same with elves. When a human character is started, the player is limited to selecting only 2 weapons for that character's use. I'm cool with that. Knowledge of one additional weapon can be attempted with when each of the following levels is reached: 3, 6, 9, 11, 15, 23, 30, 36. We're probably not, even if characters get up to level 36, I doubt they're going to be thinking about new weapons. That's going to be like domain stuff. One additional weapon may be added for each 200,000 XP gained after 36 level. To add a new weapon, the character must be trained in its use. See details of training below. So that's the training is what really made me interested in this, because it fits in kind of well with the open table and one-to-one time that we're going to be using. And I'll expand on that when we get to that point. Because of their longer lifespans and wilderness-oriented lifestyles, demi-humans start with basic skill in all weapons not forbidden to them. Okay, that makes sense. Demi-humans may train to reach higher levels of weapon mastery by the same methods given for humans. Training is possible only at levels 4 and 8, and for dwarves level 12, and each 200,000 XP after. Weapon mastery. A character may decide to train to become more skilled with one weapon currently used instead of learning a new weapon. The amount of skill is called the level of mastery. A starting character can only have basic knowledge of the starting weapon. The levels of mastery are basic, skilled, expert, master, and grandmaster. Use of weapons not studied. A character who is not trained in a weapon is unskilled. If the character attempts to use a weapon he or she has not studied, the attack is figured at basic skill level but does only half damage. Missile weapons receive a -1 penalty to their hit rolls. So that's kind of interesting. So if you are using the weapon mastery rule, if you say you pick battle axes and short swords for your 2 weapons, if you're to turn around and use a dagger, then it's only going to do half damage. Weapon using monsters, I'm not going to worry too much about that. Fighting option. The DM may allow fighters to start with 3 or 4 weapons instead of 2. As a further option, a fighter may be allowed to also add a weapon at levels 19, 27, and 33. So how's that different from this? Oh, okay. So there's 3 extra levels in between there that they can add to. I don't think I'm going to allow them to use maybe 3 weapons. I'll allow the fighters to have, but I don't think 4. I think that's might be a bit much. Magic user option. The following option may be used with or without weapon mastery. The DM may, if desired, widen the number of weapons permitted to magic users to include the following: blowgun, net, whip, and staff. I would definitely let the magic user use a staff. However, many campaigns function perfectly well with magic users restricted to dagger only. I have kind of always bristled at the thought of magic users only being allowed to use daggers. I have no problem with them using a staff. I think that would be fine. Retroactive application, we're not going to look at that because we're doing it right away. So, the training. This is what I thought was really interesting because I think this is going to fit in really well. So, basically, what's going to happen is the fighters are going to start with a basic level. If we look here at the levels, you have basic, skilled, expert, master, grandmaster there. So you start at basic with the weapon, and that means that they're going to have to find someone to train them to become skilled, and they're going to have to take that time, that one-to-one time, and pay the gold to learn that skill. Plus, they're going to have to roll on the chance of success, and if they fail, they're going to have to find someone new to teach them how to become skilled. So not only is it sort of an adventure hook for the fighters to be like, okay, let's find someone who can train us, but it also gives them something to do in the downtime in between sessions, or each player has a stable of characters. They're going to be able to like put that one character's training for his new weapon or training to reach the new level of skill, and this fighter is going to go out and go up in levels a bit. Details of training. If the DM requires characters to train to gain levels of experience, character class training and weapon training cannot be combined. They must take place at separate locations, with weapon training requiring additional time. To gain additional knowledge of the use of a weapon, a character must be trained by someone found during adventures or through advertising with equal or greater knowledge of that specific weapon. After finding a trainer who will provide the necessary instruction, the student must pay all of the required costs before training begins. So, if we look here, to go from basic to skilled is going to take 2 weeks and 250 gold pieces per week. That's 500 gold pieces. That's got to be paid up front. The costs and time required for weapon training vary by level of mastery sought, as given in the training time and cost table. Take a look at that. A chance of success and failure applies to each training period. Failure may occur because the trainer has insufficient knowledge or lacks ability to train others, or because the student cannot fully absorb the new information. The chance of success varies by the mastery levels of the trainer and the student, as given in the chance of training success table. So, if you want to become skilled in something, you're basic and you want to become skilled, you have to find someone who is skilled or better in that weapon. So if it's a short sword and you want to become skilled, you have to find someone who's skilled in a short sword. Or you can find a grandmaster who's willing to train you in all of these levels and keep going back and getting trained. But you have to roll a percentile die, and you may fail. The chance of success is checked halfway through the training period. So if you're going to skills, it's 2 weeks. So after 1 week of training, you're going to roll. And the student is immediately informed of the results. I'll probably just make the players roll on it and let them know, like, sorry, you didn't pass. You have to find someone else. The student may then either continue or stop the training. If the training will fail but is continued for its full period, the student may thereafter study again with a different trainer, and the chance of success is increased by 10%. So you've done the 2 weeks, but you failed the training role, and so now you got to find another trainer. But next time, instead of it being a 50% chance, you have a 60% chance. because you've gotten some of the knowledge, but it hasn't really clicked for you. If the student chooses to quit the training midway, no benefits are gained, but half the cost of the training is normally refunded. Chaotic trainers, however, might not offer refunds because they're jerks. Benefits of training. All bonuses and special uses for every weapon in the game system are given in the weapon mastery table. Each weapon, then, when compared to others of similar use, has some features that are better and some which are worse. A weapon might be selected because of its better damage against weapon-using opponents or for its special uses, such as parrying blows or tripping an opponent. The DM may modify the benefits if desired. Any new weapons added to the game system should be assigned balanced benefits and weaknesses. So, depending on the weapons, it's good for some things, not good for other things. Good against some opponents, not great against other opponents. So it's balanced, or at least the D&D version of balanced, which we all know is not particularly balanced. Applying benefits, weapon mastery benefits are applied before other modifiers. So you get some bonuses to hit. We can look at them here, actually. Attack benefits and hit roll bonuses. So all of these bonuses that you get for your weapon mastery are applied before other modifiers, and then you apply the other modifiers, which in the end, you're just applying them all anyway, so it doesn't make that much of a difference. This can be important. Fighters and demi-humans might thereby gain enough bonuses to bring the hit roll needed to 2 or less, activating the multiple attacks option. See D&D Companion set. So I'm going to have to implement something from Companion as well. It's not the end of the world. The greater damage available from extra weapon and skill can be a crucial factor when doubled by a thief's backstab ability. Some benefits can occur only if the player announces that they are being used, such as deflecting, disarming, or other actions. The player must always tell the DM before he or she uses one of these options. It is too late to mention it after a blow has been struck. That's perfectly fair in my opinion. You want to use it, let me know, and it'll be used. If you roll and it doesn't go your way, and then all of a sudden you're like, no, I wanted to do this. It's too bad, so sad. Sucks to suck. Armor class bonuses gained through weapon mastery should be applied automatically in all applicable situations. However, the DM may wish to be reminded. I will absolutely need to be reminded because I'm not going to remember any of this. I'm going to have enough to deal with that the weapon mastery stuff I'm going to put on the players. They want to use it. They're the ones who are going to have to tell me they're using it and what effects it has. Attack benefits, many damage ranges, and hit roll bonuses vary by the type of opponent. Opponents who attack with two-handed missile fire devices have similar defenses to those who attack with natural body weaponry, claws, teeth, etc. This type of opponent is designated M, missile/monster. Opponents using weapons held in the hand and swung or thrown, including sling and bola, but excluding all other missile fire weapon devices like bows and arrows, crossbows, must defend very differently. These opponents are designated H, handheld. If an opponent could fit into both categories, such as were-rat carrying a sword, cool, I can get down with were-rats carrying swords, who could alternate bite and weapon attacks, the category most favorable to that opponent, not the attacking character, always applies. So if the were-rat attacking with the bite is more favorable to the player, then that's what it will be, not the sword. However, if this type of opponent drops the weapon held, it immediately becomes category M for all calculations. Every weapon is better when attacking one or the other of these defense categories. Each weapon's listing shows a primary opponent, the category of defense for which the weapon is more effective, and a secondary opponent, the other category for which it is less effective. Hit roll bonuses. Apply any strength bonuses or penalty to all handheld and hand-hurled attacks. Apply any dexterity bonus or penalty to all hand-hurled and device-hurled missile attacks. So it's a lot. Like it adds a lot of complexity to the game. Makes it a little bit crunchier, but also gives it a little bit more nuance. My only fear is that this can slow down combat. So we're gonna have to see how it works. Maybe we'll try and simplify it in a way, but overall, it's not terrible. I think it can add some interesting stuff, particularly for the campaign, for characters who want to gain those bonuses and get better at using a weapon and becoming like grandmasters of their using their weapons, I think it'll create some really interesting stuff for them, and it'll create reasons for them to go out and explore and find different areas of the campaign world. However, like I said, I worry that it will slow down combat, but it remains to be seen. Like there's sheets, there's tables that you can use, and once we get used to it, I'm sure it will get quick. So here's the hit roll bonus table. So we have unskilled, no bonus, basic, no bonus. So when they start at basic, not much changes. It's not until they start getting up that it starts to really make a difference. Skilled is +2, experts +4, masters +6 versus primary, +4 versus secondary. So primary and secondary, each weapon has a primary opponent is good for and a secondary opponent is good for. And Grandmaster is +8 versus primary, +6 versus secondary. Range attacks. Remember that the ranges for hand hurled and device hurled missiles are used as feet in indoor settings, and as yards in outdoor combat. Okay, that's fine. Defense benefits. Most weapons may be used in both attack and defense maneuvers. That's the other thing, is it gives you sort of like some moves you can do with it. In defense, these maneuvers give a bonus to the armor class of the defender. The AC bonus applies only to a given number of attacks per round. The use of AC bonuses does not count as an action. The character may still move and attack at normal rates. So you can defend and it gives you a bonus to your AC, but it doesn't change what you can do on your turn, which is nice. The basic defense maneuvers described in D&D Basic Set may still be used by all characters. These are briefly summarized here. Fighting withdrawal, backing up at half speed for no AC penalty. Retreat, backing away at more than half speed by forfeiting shield protection and giving the opponent a +2 hit. Despair effect. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically you are so good at using your weapons that you can force morale checks on the opponents. So like in the following situations, if the weapon user inflicts maximum possible damage, if the weapon user avoids all damage in a round due to deflecting the blows, or if the weapon user disarms 2 or more opponents in the same round, you can force a morale check on the enemies. Detailed weapons notes basically just describes the weapons. More to just weapon descriptions. And there's a picture. Tossed items too. And then it has these charts, which I don't know if I can rotate. I bought this off drive-thru, so. Anyway, you have the charts here. It shows you the weapons and has all these little symbols here. Tell you what they mean. Down here, there's a legend and tells you which book you can find them in. It's BECMI, so it would be the BX, Companion, Master, etc. The same thing here. And tells you what its special is, like what special things it can do. Let's see, can I read this sideways? But that's easy enough for us to print out, and I can just have it there. And here it tells you what the special things that these weapons do. Like you can hook, ignite, knock out, paralyze. So if you look here, like say knockout, you can look here. So a blackjack, which is like a kind of leather club kind of thing, has knockout as its special. So that's basically it. Those are the weapon mastery rules from the master book from BECMI. I think for my campaign, I don't have a problem using it. I think it'll add some interesting nuance to combat. Like I said, I'm a little worried that it might slow down combat at first until we get used to it. But I like that it kind of brings the fighter up to the level of the magic user at higher levels, because there's a certain point where the magic user becomes very powerful and the fighters are kind of samey as they were. They get a little bit better. They have better hit dice. They get better attack bonuses. But other than that, not much changes for them. Whereas this kind of gives them that a little bit of extra edge and sort of customization for them. I like that it creates a reason for training for the fighters. Like magic users have magical research, and they have to learn. They have to find their spells and learn their spells. At least in our game, they're going to have to find and learn spells to add them to their book, or like trade with each other, or find someone who's willing to train them in the spells. Kind of gives the fighters the same thing, where they have to find someone to train them, and it gives me a way to kind of flesh out my world as well, because now I have to put these fighters who are capable of doing this training out there in the world. And of course, it's not going to be one guy in the main town who's going to be like, yes, I'm a grandmaster, I can teach you everything you need to know. Like, they're going to have to go out and find these players, these characters, which means that player is going to be gone not just for the amount of time that they have to train for, but they're going to be gone for the amount of time it takes them to travel there and travel back. So that could be a whole session or 2 sessions of, if a group of people who are all fighters say, hey, we want to go find this person, like maybe they've heard a rumor about him or heard about him from one of the other trainers. They get a group of fighters together and say, hey, we want to go find this person. We have an idea of where he is, and we're going to go, and that's going to be our session, is the travel to that trainer and talking to him and starting the training. And then that's it, for they're doing that for the next few weeks of one-to-one time, right? So I think that's really interesting. I'm kind of excited to use this, and like I say, we're using BX, but there's no reason why we can't bring things in from BECMI as well. I mean, they're very similar games. It's all D&D. BX is robust enough that you can add the stuff in without breaking it. It's pretty modular. I can take stuff from basic fantasy RPG if I want and toss it in. I hope you like this quick look at the weapon mastery rules. If you want, my first issue of my zine is out. It's on drive-through. It's called Through the Beyond the Twisted Portal. I almost said the name wrong. Todd at Hex Press did an overview of it. It was very cool. I appreciated that. And if you're curious and you're kind of interested in playing in this open table, we're allowing people in, just let me know in the comments, and I'll post another community post with the link to the Discord. So that's it for me. Save a seat for me at your table.